Hello friends, today we will start lesson number 3, pair of linear equations in two variables. In this lesson we will cover following points. First is, what is the general form of linear equations in two variable? Then what is meant by simultaneous equations? Second point, possible solutions of simultaneous equations. There are three possibilities. First is unique solution, second is no solution, and third is infinitely many solutions. So without solving any linear equations or any simultaneous equations, we can find or we can say what is the nature of solution. And lastly, we will see three methods to solve the simultaneous equations. First is graphical method, second elimination method, and third substitution method. And in this lesson again we will solve some word problems which are related to simultaneous equations. So what is meant by simultaneous equations? What is the general form? We will continue. See, everyone is aware of linear equation in one variable. X plus 5 is equals to 7, y minus 3 upon 2 is equals to 7 upon 5. So these are linear equations in one variable, and we have solved all these equations in 7th standard, 8th standard, even in 6th standard also. Here if you solve these equations, you will get the value of variable x and here value of variable y. But in this lesson we will study linear equations in two variables. So linear means what? Linear means the equation in which the power of each variable has to be 1. Then only it is linear equation, and it has to have two variables, then it will be linear equation in two variables. And therefore general form is ax plus by plus c is equals to 0, where a comma b comma c are any real numbers, but the condition is a should not be 0 and b should not be 0. If we take a 0, then ax will become 0, then the equation will be in one variable only, so it will not be in two variable. If you take b is equals to 0, so by becomes 0, again it will not be equation in two variable. So this is the general form, ax plus by plus c is equals to 0, where a comma b comma c are any real numbers. We can write some examples. First, in any variable x, y, mn, p, q, a, b, you can take any two variables. So 3x minus 5y plus 8 is equals to 0. One more example, 5 upon 3y minus 3 upon 2x is equals to 7 upon 2. Again this equation has two variables, so that's why, and the power of each variable is 1. You can write the constant on LHS or RHS. Third, 5m minus 3n is equals to 8. So these are the examples of linear equation in two variables. If you try to solve any single equation, let us consider a very simple equation, x plus y is equals to 10. Now if we consider any one equation at a time, how many solutions does this equation have? We will see. If you put x is equals to 1, then y is equals to 9. If you put x is equals to 2, y is equals to 8. x ची व्हॅल्यू जशी जशी आपण चेंज करू तशी आपल्याला y ची नवीन व्हॅल्यू मिळेल. इफ यू टेक -1 it will be 11. If you take -2 y will be 12. So to get x plus y is equals to 10, if you change the value of x accordingly, we will get new value for y. That means this equation has 1,9, x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 9 is one solution. X is equals to 2 and y is equals to 8, another solution. X is equals to -1, y is equals to 11 is another solution. X is equals to -2 and y is equals to 12 is again one more solution. So if you try to find out the solutions for this equation, we will get infinite solutions. That means we will conclude like this. If we consider any linear equation, only one linear equation, this equation has infinite solutions. जर एखादं एकच लिनियर इक्वेशन आपण विचारात घेतलं तर त्या इक्वेशनला असंख्य सोल्युशन्स असतात. सो दिस इज रिगार्डिंग एक्झाम्पल्स अँड इट्स सोल्युशन्स. नाउ इन दिस लेसन वी विल नॉट सॉल्व single equation, we will consider two equations at a time. Let us consider a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equals to 0, equation number 1. And second equation, I need to change the coefficients. a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equals to 0. This is again equation number 2. If you consider any two equations in two variables at a same time, then such equations are called simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations. And if you try to solve these simultaneous equations, we will have three methods: graphical method, elimination method and substitution method. Meanwhile, we will first consider these two equations and will find possible solutions, a nature of solutions for these two equations by considering coefficients of equations. So we can take a point as nature of solutions. See, if a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equals to 0 is one equation and a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equals to 0 is another equation in linear equations in two variables, and these two equations we are considering at a time and we are trying to solve these equations at a time. That's why these two equations are simultaneous equations. Now here we will find the nature of solution without solving equations. Equation न सोडवता आपण याचे nature of solutions find out करू शकतो. There are three types of natures. One is unique solution, second is no solution, and third is infinitely many solutions. How to find nature of solution? Only by taking the ratios of a1 and a2, that is a1 upon a2, b1 upon b2 and c1 upon c2. So first condition is, if the ratio a1 upon a2, हा रेशो a1 आणि a2 चा रेशो b1 आणि b2 च्या रेशो एवढा नसेल, is not equals to b1 upon b2, then don't look at c1 and c2, only look at a1 upon a2 and b1 upon b2. If they are not equal, these two ratios are not equal, then these equations have unique solution. Unique solution आहे म्हणजे if you try to plot the graph, we will plot the graph in next point which is graphical method. At that time you will see that the graphs of such equations are intersecting. So graphs intersect at one point, and as these see एक इक्वेशन असेल किंवा इन्फिनिट एक सोल्युशन असेल किंवा इन्फिनिट सोल्युशन्स असतील त्यावेळेस अशा इक्वेशन्सला आपण कन्सिस्टंट असं म्हणणार आहोत. सो a1 upon a2 not equals to b1 upon b2. It has unique solution, it has a solution, that's why the equations are consistent. Equations are consistent. Second condition, if a1 upon a2 is equals to b1 upon b2. If first two ratios are equal, then we must consider c1 upon c2, and if it is not equals to c1 upon c2, then see second condition, a1 upon a2 is equals to b1 upon b2, but it is not equals to c1 upon c2, then these equations have no solutions. No solution. Graphs are parallel. And as it has no solution, equations are not consistent. And third possibility, third nature, if all ratios are equal, a1 upon a2 is equals to b1 upon b2 is equals to c1 upon c2, then equations have infinite solutions. Graphs are coincident. And as it has solution, one solution consistent, infinite solutions consistent. If those two equations have no solution, then equations are not consistent. So it has infinite solutions, so equations are consistent. Again we will revise. It is very important topic. It will give you 1 mark, 2 mark or 3 marks questions depending upon complexity of the question. So we will revise it again. If a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equals to 0 and a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equals to 0 are the two equations in linear equations in two variables, which we will call simultaneous equations, then there are three possibilities of nature of solutions. First, if ratio of a1 is upon a2 is not equals to b1 upon b2, then don't look for c1 upon c2, not required. If first two ratios are not equal, then equations have unique solution. If you try to plot the graph, graphs will intersect at one point only, and as it has one solution, unique solution, equations are consistent. Second possibility, if a1 upon a2 ratio and b1 upon b2 are equal, then look for c1 upon c2, and if c1 upon c2 is not equals to first two ratios, then equations have no solution. Graphs are parallel, they will not intersect each other, and equations are not consistent because it has no solution. And last possibility, a1 upon a2 is equals to b1 upon b2, which is equals to c1 upon c2. It has infinite solutions. Graphs are coincident. ग्राफच्या दोन्ही लाईन एकावरती एक येणार. That's why graphs are called coincident, and it has infinite solution. It has solution which are infinite solutions, so equations are consistent. So याच्यावरती आधारित आपण काही क्वेश्चन्स अगोदर एक्सरसाइज 3.1 मध्ये करणार आहोत. त्याच्यानंतर काही वर्ड प्रॉब्लेम क्वेश्चन 1 मध्ये आहेत. Those questions will be solved by graphical method. We will not consider elimination and substitution method in exercise 3.1. We will only consider graphical method. So whatever we'll study in exercise 3.1 is first question number 2, 3 and 4. I think these three questions are on these three possibilities. Question number 1, which has two sub questions, word problem, those questions will be studied after finishing question 2, 3 and 4, and then elimination method and substitution method and some word problems in the remaining part of the lesson. So now we will start exercise 3.1. Very simple exercise. (3.1) Question number 2. We will start with question number 2. We will consider or we will study question number 1 once we finish question 2, 3 and 4. So question number 2. On comparing the ratios a1 upon a2, b1 upon b2 and c1 upon c2, find out whether the lines representing the following pairs of linear equations, here line means graph, intersect at a point, are parallel or coincident. So first is only the nature of graphs विचारलेला आहे. युनिक सोल्युशन, इन्फिनिट सोल्युशन किंवा कन्सिस्टंट आहेत की इनकन्सिस्टंट आहेत, that is not asked. Only the nature of graphs is asked. First is 5x minus 4y plus 8 is equals to 0. It is in standard form. Equation number 1. 7x plus 6y minus 9 is equals to 0. This is equation number 2. Both the equations should be in the same format. If constant is on RHS, then equation 2 is also having constant on LHS, and if constant is on RHS, equation 2 should also have constant on RHS, then we will be correct. So now compare these ratios. See, this is A1, this is A2, this is B1, this is B2, C1 and C2. So take the ratios. A1 upon A2 is equals to 5 upon 7. If you can reduce, you reduce it. It is not possible to reduce here. B1 upon B2 is equals to minus 4 upon 6, which will be 2s, 3s, so minus 2 upon 3. And C1 upon C2 is equals to plus 8 upon minus 9, but minus sign is always given to the numerator, so it will be minus 8 upon 9. So by observing all ratios, we can say or we can write A1 upon A2 हा रेशो B1 upon B2 एवढा नाही आहे. A1 upon A2 5 upon 7 आहे आणि B1 upon B2 minus 2 upon 3 आहे. So A1 upon A2 is not equals to B1 upon B2. And this is the condition for unique solution. Lines are intersecting and consistent, but only we need to write the nature of lines. Therefore the lines representing the pair of linear equations, therefore the lines representing given equations are intersecting at a point. So this is the answer. Only by considering the ratios. We need not to solve these equations. Only by studying the ratios of A1 upon A2, B1 upon B2 and C1 upon C2, we can write the nature of solution. That these equations have unique solution. That means they are consistent and the lines are intersecting at a point. But only the nature of lines is asked, nature of graphs is asked. That's why we can write the only answer, the lines representing given equations are intersecting at a point. Question number 2, sub question 2. 9x plus 3y, 9x plus 3y plus 12 is equals to 0. 18x plus 6y plus 24 is equals to 0. So we will take the ratio A1 upon A2 is equals to 9 upon 18. We can reduce it 1 upon 2. B1 upon B2 is plus 3 upon 6, which will be again 1 upon 2 after reduction, and C1 upon C2 is 12 upon 24, again after reduction 1 upon 2. So प्रत्येक रेशो कडे जर आपण पाहिलं तर आपल्या लक्षात येईल, we will come to know that A1 upon A2 is equals to B1 upon B2 is equals to C1 upon C2. All ratios are equal. That means these equations will have the graphs which are coincident. एकावरती एक अशा दोन लाईन दिसतील तुम्हाला. समजा आपण ग्राफ काढला तर this will be, if this line will be like this, then another line will be also be on the same line. एकावरती एक दुसरी लाईन येणार आहे. So such lines are called coincident. So graphs or lines of these equations are coincident. So we can write the lines representing the given equations are coincident. It has infinitely many solutions. Equations are consistent, but that is not asked. So only the nature of lines, the lines representing given equations are consistent. We will go for question number 3. 6x minus 3y, 6x minus 3y plus 10 is equals to 0. Equation number 1. 2x minus y, 2x minus y plus 9 is equals to 0. We will take the ratios. A1 upon A2 is 6 upon 2, which will be 3 upon 1. B1 upon B2 is minus 3 upon minus 1, which will be, see, minus at the numerator, minus at the denominator, it will be positive 3 upon 1, and 10 upon 3 is C1 upon C2. So it cannot be reduced. Let it be like this. After observations, we can write A1 upon A2 and B1 upon B2 are equal, but C1 upon C2 is not equal. Therefore, these equations have parallel lines which will have no solution. They are inconsistent. So the lines representing given equations are parallel lines. Here ends question number 2. We will solve question number 3 and question number 4. Then we will go for question 1, which is word problem, and then we will solve question number 4, 5, 6 and 7. So graph papers are required. So next time or next period, graph papers or graph book is required. So we will continue same exercise in the next period. Till then, bye bye, good night.